Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and welcome to the MLB playoff edition of Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB postseason games scheduled for Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comment section below, and if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Tuesday, October 11th. First up, we see an NLDS matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. Game 1 for this one in Atlanta, a 1:07 Eastern start time on Fox. Two lefties on the mound for this one, Max Fried and Ranger Suarez. Now, when you look at both of these teams' numbers offensively in the last month against left-handed pitching, the Philadelphia Phillies, the 7th highest strikeout rate at 26%, but the Atlanta Braves actually higher strikeout rate at 29.1%. That's the second highest in baseball during that same stretch. And we know the Atlanta Braves, very powerful lineup, so they're going to hit plenty of home runs. And the unfortunate side effect could be some strikeouts. But in the last month, really, the numbers, in terms of the power numbers and team OPS numbers, they really haven't been there either for the Atlanta Braves. They're 22nd in team OPS, and they're 20th in isolated power, while the Phillies, top 10 in baseball in team OPS against those left-handed pitchers. When you look at Ranger Suarez for the Phillies, he's faced these Braves quite a bit this year. 28 innings of work. He's at a 3.21 ERA, so he's kept them in ball games. A pretty low opponent's batting average of 223. Now, the free passes have been a little bit of an issue, walking 12 batters in those 28 innings. But overall, Suarez pitching well against the Braves, and he had a really good second half of the season, and he pitched much better on the road. At home at Citizens Bank Park, a 4.27 ERA in about 65 innings of work. So, you know, a little bit below average in terms of a starting pitcher, but on the road, a 3.2 ERA in about 90 innings of work, a much lower opponent's batting average. And I do think in this spot, he can keep the Phillies in this game. When you look on the other side, Max Fried also pitched against the Phillies quite a bit this year, and he's also had success. 23 innings, against the Phillies, a 3.13 ERA, but a little bit higher opponent's batting average of 260. We know the Philadelphia Phillies, they entered the postseason as big-time underdogs and weren't expected to do much in that first series against St. Louis, and they swept that one in the first two games, back-to-back wins to move on to the DS. I think they compete in this series. We know these are two rivals, teams that know quite a bit about the other, and I do think it's going to be a close series, and I think it's going to be a close game one, so I'm going to take the 1.5 runs here with the Philadelphia Phillies in game one on the run line. Next up, we see our first ALDS matchup of the Tuesday card. This one a 3:37 Eastern start time between the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros. This one on TBS. Logan Gilbert and Justin Verlander are your starters. You know, Justin Verlander, what a season he had in the regular season. 18-4 with a 1.75 ERA. Even better numbers at home with that 1.64 ERA. He faced the Mariners a few times this year. Now, a couple of those starts, he did get hit pretty hard, but overall, 42 innings of work against the Mariners, a 2.34 ERA with a very low opponent's batting average of 210. But on the other side, Logan Gilbert, he faced the Astros 25 innings himself. He had a 2.52 ERA, a 228 opponent's batting average, only giving up one home run. So both of these pitchers facing the opposition and having a lot of success in the regular season. When you look at the offensive numbers, the Seattle Mariners, the third highest isolated power, only to the Braves and Yankees had better power numbers in the last month against those righties. The Mariners had the highest walk rate at 11.2%. Their team OPS was also in the top 10, while the Astros outside the top 10 in team OPS against righties. So, you know, I do think when you look at Seattle, a very good bullpen. They played very well in that Blue Jays series, and they were down 8-1 in the game 2 of that one. They never gave up. They won that one in the end, scoring 10 runs total. I think that kind of spirit, you know, this is a team that hasn't been to the playoffs since 2001. This is their first playoff appearance since then. I think they have some fight in them. Give me the Seattle Mariners plus the 1.5 runs here on the run line. I think at the very least they keep this game close and keep it at a one-run game. In our next game, we see game 1 of the ALDS between the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Yankees with Cal Quantrill and Garrett Cole on the mound. This one a 7:37 Eastern start time on TBS. Now, when you look at the Cleveland Guardians in the first round, the wild card round, there's some pros and cons. Obviously, the biggest pro, the starting pitching and the bullpen. They only gave up one total run in 24 innings of work in those two games because the first game was just a 9-inning ball game. The second game went to extra innings, went 15 innings, and the Rays didn't score a single run in that game. They only scored one in game 1, a Jose Siri solo home run. That was it for the Tampa Bay Rays. So the pitching staff for Cleveland, right where you want to see it for playoff baseball. However, the offense was the big negative for the Cleveland Guardians. It was good enough to get the wins, that's for sure, but only 3 runs scored in those 24 innings, and both of those via the long ball, which is not what we're used to seeing from Cleveland this year. They're more of a small ball team. They steal plenty of bases. They get on base via singles, and they take a lot of pitches as well. But I don't think they're going to be able to rely on the long ball, especially against the Yankees here. And I do think the Yankees will at least take this first game, and I do think they're going to win it pretty convincingly. I don't love this spot for Cal Quantrill. On the road this season, a 3.53 ERA, which is still good, but a little bit higher numbers in terms of the ERA and the opponent's batting average. The opponent's batting average about 50 points higher on the road than it is at home. He's faced the Yankees once this season. He went 6 1/3, giving up 6 base hits and 3 earned runs, a home run as well. So a 4.26 ERA, a little bit higher there. And when you look at the Yankees, I mean, against right-handed pitching, they were number 2 in baseball in isolated power, number 2 in baseball in team OPS, number 2 in WRC plus against righties in the last month. Their walk percentage was in the top 6. I think this Yankees team, a team that's been frustrated in the playoffs recently, their last World Series appearance and win was in 2009. I think this is a big year for Aaron Boone and the Yankees. I mean, if the Yankees don't win the World Series, Aaron Boone's job could be gone here for the Yankees at manager. But I like Garrett Cole in this spot. I do think the Yankees are going to win this game pretty convincingly. So give me the Yankees on the run line. And in our final game of the Tuesday Divisional Series card, we see the San Diego Padres taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. This one a 9:37 Eastern start time on Fox Sports 1 for this one. Mike Clevenger going for the Padres. No official starter listed for the Dodgers. We can expect Julio Urias. That's where I'm seeing on multiple websites the Dodgers are probably going to go with. If he does not go in this game, I would expect Clayton Kershaw to be the starter. So we can expect a very good lefty on the mound for the Dodgers in Game 1. And you look at Mike Clevenger, he 4.33 ERA. I do think he is the weakest link in this Padres rotation. He's really the only guy that's available to go in this game because the Padres used Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, and Blake Snell in that wild card series, and none of them have got enough rest to be able to go in here in Game 1. When you look at Mike Clevenger, since August 1st, he hasn't had a start getting more than 5 strikeouts. He hasn't earned more than 5 strikeouts since August 1st, so he's not missing a lot of bats. He faced the Dodgers 3 times in the second half of the season and really did not have very good numbers at all. 13 innings pitched against LA. He gave up 16 base hits, 14 earned runs, 5 home runs. He only had 11 strikeouts. That's a 9.69 ERA with an opponent's batting average of .291. It'd be one thing if Clevenger was missing bats, earning those strikeouts, limiting the home runs, limiting the walks, but he wasn't striking out many guys. He was giving up the long ball, giving up a ton of base hits. I just can't back him in this spot. When you look at the Dodgers, their numbers against righties this season have been fantastic offensively. The second highest walk rate, team OPS and isolated power numbers have been great this entire season, basically, and they've already had plenty of success against Clevenger. I got to take the Dodgers in this game on the run line, even though it's not the most value-heavy play, as you're still laying negative odds with the Dodgers minus 1.5 runs. But to me, it's the only option. So give me the Los Angeles Dodgers laying the 1.5 runs to end the night. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday, October 11th in the MLB postseason. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.